Hey guys, and welcome back to another look on Warrior. Dragonflight is literally just days away now, and this is the Sunday before the Dragonflight launch. And since we did multiple videos on the Warrior changes with abilities and talent trees, I thought we could now make a revisit, see if anything substantial has changed since we first had a look at it in the beta, and what we can expect. So let's dive right into it. One of the bigger changes is something that happened to everyone. Everyone got 40% more health, and every monster in the entire game do 40% more damage. So they did this without actually buffing healing. So this means that you are going to have to throw more healing spells on your players to get them up again. So that, I guess, affects us all, because we are going to be low more than before. It doesn't have a lot of effect on warriors, I would say, in general. Just if we talk about the warrior healing abilities, most of it is percent based. So like Bloodthirst, that restores 3% of your health, so that is, that will still do 3% of your health with the new max health numbers. The same with Enraged Regen, 20% health. Even Indomitable for Prot Warrior is also 1%. I would say the only thing that is affected by this in terms of healing or mitigation would be Ignore Pain, since that scales off of your versatility and your strength, or your attack power. Strength and attack power. So Ignore Pain, I would say, is maybe you can consider it as slightly nerfed, but considering how massively powerful it was in the beta, I don't think it's a bad thing, actually. So Ignore Pain is still very good. You don't need to worry about that. We've seen like a wall of text for a lot of specs and a lot of classes. For warriors, I would say it's mostly balance tuning. They changed the damage output of certain spells. They also try to balance the spells individually, so that you get a good playstyle, let's say. So I think all of the changes I've seen have been good so far. Nothing really stands out. It's just a matter of getting the numbers where they are supposed to be. There's nothing really that has changed the playstyle, with one exception, I would say. They buffed Shockwave for Prot Warrior. And they actually buffed the ability damage of Shockwave. So that Shockwave now, if you take that one for Prot, and you take it together with Sonic Boom, which increases the damage by 350%, actually does decent damage compared to like Thunderous Roar or Spear of Bastion. So I would say it's right now roughly on par with Thunderous Roar or Spear of Bastion, or actually DPS wise it's slightly higher. Now the direct damage is lower, of course, but it has a much shorter cooldown. And the 40-second cooldown also makes it possible for you to push this for every mob pack in a Mythic Plus dungeon, for instance. So I think that's good. Shockwave is back on the table for Prot. And I think just the utility of stunning them and having it up every 40 seconds, I think, will help a lot as well in the tanking. But Prot Warrior is kind of powerful as they are now. I don't remember if this was changed the last time, but the stances are different now. So we don't have all 3 stances for each spec. So Prot and Arms have battle stance and defensive stance, and Fury instead has Berserker stance and defensive stance. So this means that the class tree is actually different depending on which spec that you play. This is not the only thing that is different. You also have this one, Blood and Thunder, where Thunderclap spreads your rend when you push it, so it affects 5 nearby targets. Since rend is not available on the Fury tree, Blood and Thunder looks a little bit different. We can have a look at that one. It looks like this. So Thunderclap now costs 10 more rage and deals 10% increased damage. And with the 30 rage cost that is already on Thunderclap, we'll increase it to 40 in that case, if you take that one. I would say that Thunderclap is pretty much dead for Fury on max level, but I would say that Thunderclap is good for leveling. So that is basically what you use Thunderclap for now. It's something that you do while leveling for Fury. But then when you reach the max level, you don't really use it anymore. I mean, of course you can use it, but it's suboptimal at best, and it doesn't even feel good to use. What else do we have? Yes, the Thunderclap spread of Blood and Thunder. This is available for both Prot and for Arms, that you spread rend. This has now been fixed according to a blue post. I haven't tested it extensively, but it seems to be fixed. Before, it saw every character or pet or anything nearby as a target. So it tried to apply rend to like hunter pets or other players, but it couldn't. So then it just failed, and then yeah, it took targets from your 5, so maybe you only applied it to 2 mobs instead of 5. But it's now supposedly fixed, and it feels like it's fixed as well. The other thing that is something for all specs, I guess, is I am not sure if this is a change. I don't remember if this was a thing previously on the beta, but Spear of Bastion does less damage than it says it's supposed to do. So it does about 35% less damage than the tooltip says. If this is a bug or if it's intended, I don't know. But this makes it less powerful right now than Thunderous Roar. Yeah, pretty much, I would say. We can look out for this. I'm not sure that it will be a blue post, but maybe it's just a bug fix. If we go into more of the class trees, actually both the Fury tree and the Arms tree is unchanged. There is nothing that has really happened there except for balance tuning, and that is like damage numbers going up and down. Nothing substantial, I would say. Where we have seen some changes is on the Prot tree. So I had like 3 talents that I thought was going to be nerfed, and right now they have nerfed one of those three, so we will see what happens. Everyone has been saying that you know, Prot Warrior is OP, they are unkillable, and all of these things. So I would say that if you know how to play Prot Warrior in a good way, then yes, you are very strong. You are very durable and tanky. The damage output is not as high as the highest tanks right now, but on the other hand, the highest tank damage output is kind of ridiculously high. I think it's Monk right now that has the highest damage output, Brewmaster, and we will see. I think that the damage output of Prot is on a good level right now. It's like middle of the pack, and it's not far down. So the three things that I thought was going to be fixed, let's say. I thought that they would nerf Brutal Vitality because 30% of the damage you deal is added to your active ignore pain. That is very, very powerful. So I suppose, in a way, that they did nerf this because they nerfed some of Prot's damage output. So, kind of, but I don't know, it didn't really affect much. So this is still very, very powerful. Spell block, to me, is completely bonkers. You're able to block spells for 20 seconds every 1.5 minutes. This is so powerful. I mean, block is kind of the warrior thing, and you are now able to block like magic damage. That is just very, very, very powerful. So if this doesn't get nerfed, then definitely take this talent. And then the third thing that I thought was going to be nerfed or fixed has actually been so. And they even switched the name, so the new name of this talent is Defender's Aegis. So they changed this. It used to be that Shield Wall gains an additional charge, and half of the effect of Shield Wall is spread through your party. Not your raid, but your party, your 5-man party. So the 4 others in your party. So this was also very powerful, especially for Mythic Plus, I would say. I can show you. Shield Wall is 40% damage reduction for 8 seconds. So then it was 20% for 8 seconds. And having that for your entire party was pretty overpowered. So they changed it now, so instead you have 1 additional charge and the cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds. I would say that compared to Impenetrable Wall, I would say that this is still very powerful. Let's change to that one. Yeah, this is pretty much it, I would say. Everything else is kind of as it was. Yeah. I would say have fun with Warrior, and there is nothing that has happened that makes me want to change away from Warrior, at least. So I would say Prot, Fury and Arms are all in good places. They all have good talent trees. The thing that they said they would have a look at is the AoE ability bloat. That we have like too many AoE abilities. And they have not actually addressed this yet. So we will see what happens. But it's right now the case that, let's say for Fury, that you have on max level will have Ravager, you can have Odin's Fury, you have Avatar with Odin's Fury, you can take Thunderous Roar, and you can take Spear of Bastion. So it will be a very long burst sequence, let's say, when you do AoE damage. So you have a lot of abilities there, but fine, We will adapt, I suppose. I would have liked it that these talents were maybe a little bit more powerful or something, so that if you took this one, Thunderous Words, let's say, that would in itself buff Thunderous Roar, so that you wouldn't benefit by taking Spear of Bastion. Because how it looks in the when you hit max level is that you can have like this one, but then you cannot have both this one and Spear of Bastion, so you have to click away Thunderous Words and then pick Spear of Bastion instead, which is actually right now gives the highest burst damage. But that's how it is. So we will see if they will make any changes to that. Alright. Have fun playing in Dragonflight, guys. I will see you there.